All right, let's get right into it. Most people think that building wealth is all about picking the right strategy, finding that one perfect investment, or starting just the right business, or choosing the ideal side hustle. But what if that's not even close to the whole picture? Today, we are going to do a serious deep dive analysis ranking every single major wealth building strategy, all the way from the absolute pinnacle, S tier, down to the ones that are just fundamentally broken, the F tier. And I've got to warn you, some of our placements here, they're going to challenge a lot of what you've probably heard. Just let that sink in for a second. What if the path that you're on right now, the one you've poured so much time and energy into, is, by its very design, fundamentally limited? This isn't a question of effort, it's about the cold, hard math of the strategy itself. So we're going to break down that structure, piece by piece, and really see which paths have a real shot at leading to significant wealth, and which ones are, well, for all intents and purposes, statistical dead end.
Look, this ranking isn't based on feelings or hype. We're running every strategy through a strict three-part filter. First up, accessibility. Can a regular person get started with very little or even no capital? Second, scalability. Is there a realistic mathematical path to hitting $10,000 a month and then going beyond that? And finally, the big one, reliability. What percentage of people who actually commit to this strategy see real, meaningful results? We're on the hunt for predictable systems, not lottery tickets. Now let's do a quick technical analysis of this. Accessibility has to be first, because if a strategy needs $1 million to start, it's just not relevant for 99% of us. We measure scalability at 10 grand a month because that's an income level that genuinely changes lives and proves the model works. But reliability, that's the killer criterion. We're looking at the success rate of the average person who gives it a real shot, not the one famous person you see on Instagram. This whole framework is designed to find what works for the many, not just the lucky few.
So here's the game plan for today. We're going to start at the very bottom, in F tier, so we can really understand what makes a strategy destined to fail. Then we'll climb up through D tier's low ceilings and C tier's incomplete plans. After that, we'll get into the real contenders in the B and A tiers, before we finally unpack the secret that defines every single S tier strategy. Let's get started. Welcome to the bottom of the barrel, F tier. It is so important that we start here, because understanding why these strategies fail is the foundation for understanding why the others actually succeed. This isn't about bad luck, it's about bad math, plain and simple.
That phrase, structurally broken, is everything here. It doesn't just mean a strategy is hard. It means the underlying mechanics, the risk versus the reward, the actual probabilities of success are so completely skewed that the expected outcome for you is negative. So let's get a little technical. In probability theory, there's this thing called expected value. It's what you can expect to win or lose on average over time. For F-tier strategies, that expected value is less than 0. Think of it like a slot machine in a casino. Sure, a few people hit the jackpot, and those stories are exciting, but the machine is mathematically designed to make sure that over time, the vast majority of people who play will lose their money. That's exactly what we mean by broken math. Okay, let's look at two of the most classic examples. First, you've got day trading. The promise is financial freedom, making huge returns from your laptop. But the reality? A truly staggering failure rate. And right next to it, crypto speculation. And let's be super clear. We're not talking about long-term investing in major cryptocurrencies here. We're talking about trying to guess the short-term price swings of super volatile, often unknown altcoins. The success rate for this is catastrophic, really, because it demands an almost supernatural ability to consistently time the market perfectly.
Just let this number sink in for a minute. 90%. Study after study, across all different markets and time periods, consistently shows that somewhere between 80 and 95% of retail day traders lose money. They don't just fail to make a profit, they actually lose their starting capital. So from a technical standpoint, why? Well, it's because you, as a retail trader, are playing a zero-sum game against opponents with almost unbeatable advantages. You're competing with supercomputers that execute trades in microseconds. You're up against massive institutional firms with armies of analysts and access to data you'll never see. The system just isn't built for the little guy to win consistently. That 90% figure? It's probably the clearest evidence of structurally broken math you'll ever find.
This quote just nails the core issue with every F-tier strategy.
Survivorship bias. We all hear the incredible stories from that tiny 5% who made a fortune. They're the ones writing books, selling courses, and posting screenshots of their wins. But we never, ever hear from the other 95%, the ones who quietly lost their life savings. A reliable strategy has to work for a big chunk of the people who actually try it, not just a handful of lucky outliers. If it doesn't, you're not actually using a strategy. You're just buying a ticket for a financial lottery.
Okay, let's take one step up the ladder to D tier. Now, these strategies aren't broken like the F tier ones. They actually work, but they all share a different fatal flaw, a very, very low ceiling. They simply cannot scale up to a level that can build any meaningful wealth.
This is such a critical difference to understand. A parking spot for your cash is a perfectly useful financial tool. It keeps your capital safe, it protects it from risk. But a true wealth strategy has to grow your capital at a rate that crushes inflation and taxes. We're talking about the real return. D-tier strategies just can't pass this test. The math isn't broken. You'll get your promised return, but your real return is often close to zero or sometimes even negative. It has none of the compounding power you need to create real forward momentum. It's safe, sure, but it's also stagnant.
So, let's look at some examples. High-yield savings accounts are the classic D-tier strategy. That 5% return sounds nice, but after you factor in inflation, your real gain is tiny. Then you've got the generic side hustles, like driving for a rideshare app or doing microtasks online. The critical flaw here is the complete lack of leverage. You are trading your time directly for money, one-to-one. And since you only have 24 hours in a day, your income has a hard mathematical cap. There is no way to separate your earnings from the hours you put in. On top of that, you are completely at the mercy of a platform that can change its pay structure or its rules whenever it wants, which puts you at a huge risk you have zero control over. And now we've made it to C tier, and this is where things start to get a little controversial. These strategies are actually dangerous, not because they're bad in themselves, but because they are fundamentally incomplete. People can spend their entire lives doing this, thinking they're doing everything right, when in reality, a massive piece of the wealth puzzle is missing.
Let's be crystal clear about this. The strategy of investing in low-cost index funds for the long term is absolutely sound. It's reliable, it's accessible, and it's historically proven to work. The investment vehicle itself is A tier, no question. The problem, for most people, is that the vehicle isn't the whole system. Think about it. A system has inputs, processes, and outputs. In this case, the process, investing in index funds, is fantastic. But the input, the amount of money people are able to contribute each month, is the bottleneck. For the average person, the limiting factor isn't the stock market's return. It's their own income. The whole system is being held back by its weakest link.
This slide really shows the math in black and white. Investing $500 a month, which is a huge achievement for a lot of families, gets you to around $100,000 after a full decade. Now that's great, but it's not life-changing wealth. But now look at the person who's able to invest $5,000 a month. They hit $1 million in the exact same amount of time. The strategy is identical, the market return is identical. The only variable that changed was the income feeding the strategy. It's like having a Formula One engine in a car that has a 1-gallon fuel tank. The engine is perfect, but if you can only drip a tiny bit of gas into it every month, you're just not going to get very far, very fast.
All right, let's move on to the B and A tiers. We are now officially entering the territory of strategies that can genuinely build serious wealth. The math works, the scalability is definitely there, but they each have their own specific barriers to entry that keep them from being at the very top.
The key distinction between these two tiers is the nature of the barrier. For B-tier strategies, like investing in real estate, the main barrier is capital. You absolutely need a down payment and good credit. This is an external resource. But for A-tier strategies, like high-level consulting or building a niche content business, the main barrier is skill. You need real, demonstrable expertise that the market is willing to pay a premium for. This is an internal resource. And what's so fascinating is that a capital barrier, while it seems straightforward, can be impossible for many people to overcome. But a skill barrier, it requires a ton of effort and time, sure, but it's internal. It's something that anyone, in theory, can build for themselves from the ground up. And that makes A-tier strategies far more accessible in the long run, even if they seem harder to start.
And now we've finally reached the summit. S tier. This isn't just another small step up from A tier. This represents a complete and total shift in how we even think about building wealth. It's a whole different paradigm. So what is it? What's the one thing, the one common denominator that every single S-tier strategy has? I'll tell you, it's not a specific type of business. It's not a particular investment class. No, it's something way more fundamental than that.
This is it. This is the entire secret right here. S tier is not about finding the perfect vehicle, the perfect business model, the perfect investment strategy. It's about becoming a world-class driver, the kind of person who can take any good vehicle and make it perform at its absolute maximum potential. All the time people spend asking, what business should I start, is a focus on the vehicle. The S tier question is, what skills must I master?
Let's break this down. Every single S-tier strategy starts not with money, not with connections, not with luck, but with a high-value skill. A skill that solves a painful, expensive problem for a specific group of people. The business model, the investment plan, the vehicle, all of that comes after the skill has been mastered. The strategy is downstream of the skill. This flips the whole process on its head. You don't find a fancy car and then try to learn how to drive it. You become an expert driver first so you can handle any car you get into.
This slide lays out the non-negotiable order of operations. First, you build a skill that the market actually values, something like copywriting, data analysis, or running paid ad campaigns. Second, you build distribution, an audience, a professional network, a reputation, so that the right people know who you are. Only then, step 3, do you monetize that skill with a vehicle that fits, like freelancing, consulting, or creating a digital product. And finally, you build systems to scale beyond your own time by using leverage like software or hiring a team. Most people try to do this completely backwards. They pick a vehicle first, like I want to sell stuff on Amazon, and then try to make it work with no real underlying skill or audience. And that's exactly why they fail. The sequence is everything.
So now, I want to turn this question back to you. Looking at this whole framework, what tier is your primary wealth-building strategy in right now? And be brutally honest with yourself. Don't rate it based on where you hope it's going to be someday. Rate it on its actual current structure. Does it pass the test for accessibility, scalability, and reliability? And then ask yourself the much more important question, is your main focus on finding a new vehicle, or is it on becoming a better driver?
And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway from all of this. The goal isn't to go out and find some magical S-tier business model on a list. The goal is to understand that you become S-tier first. You build the skill. You build the reputation. You become the kind of person, the driver, who can take a B-tier or an A-tier vehicle and execute on it at an S-tier level. The gap between where you are today and where you want to be is always closed by skill. Build a skill first, and everything else will follow.